I'm Pete Cinella, and you are watching my dad on the Pete Cinella Show.
Hey again, everybody. Welcome back to episode 4 of the Pete Cinella Show. A nice little break for us here on FDUnites.com, but glad as always to be back with women's basketball coach Pete Cinella.
Thanks, Joel.
A really good week for you guys. Even up to 500 in conference play, the victory over the Mount, big victory over Wagner. I guess let's start on the front side of it. Huge for you guys because that was the first test you really had in a close, down-to-the-wire game to come out with a W. I think shows a lot of grit and guts from you guys.
Mount's an excellent team. They've been playing well. They had some really big wins, and they came in here and they shot the ball really well, and they played a good game, but we were able to pull it out at the end, and it was just one of those games. I don't think either team had a lead of more than 6 points the entire second half, and we made some free throws down the stretch, and it was good because we had to take care of the basketball and make those big free throws late, and we did it.
How much of a growth experience is it? Because I know you had the game that came down to the end with Ryder, but this time you come out with the victory, and for a team that's really young with the 5 freshmen to experience a game like that where they're able to come out victorious, where they have to play the full 40 minutes, I think is invaluable, especially early on in the season. That
was a great battle at Ryder when it played 40 minutes, came down to the last few seconds. And I think for the freshmen, we do play 5 freshmen a lot, they learn that sometimes you got to play really hard every play, and those plays will add up, and maybe that'll change that 1-point victory or loss into a 10-point victory. So you got to add up the little inches over the course of the game and try and make those little battles throughout the game, and sometimes a close loss can help you refocus to earlier in the game and play even harder and have more focus for the first 40.
And senior leadership as well, because Mariah Lowry goes to the free throw line, hits all 4 free throws she takes in the final minute. Just a good example setter?
It's very good. The people we want the balls in their hands late are very good foul shooters. I think Amanda Andretti's also made some big free throws, and they're both shooting great percentages from the line, but Mariah hit those big free throws, and she had a great weekend, played very sharp in both our conference wins this weekend.
Is she kind of in her comfort zone too now? I mean, she struggled in the first half of that Mount game, but then the second half, boy, did she turn it on, and then Wagner never looked back.
Yeah, she's really got a good rhythm going now. She's definitely improved her rebounding and her steals the last couple of years, but this year she's really added. She's getting a lot of assists, and overall, she's playing good basketball right now.
Well, I think getting more accustomed to the point guard role, too, has cut down on the turnovers drastically over the last couple of weeks also.
Yeah, she's done a good job of taking care of the ball and finding the open man, so that's important. That'll help her offense out as well, because it's tougher to double team her if she's getting assists when hitting that open player.
Victory over the Mount gives the Knights their first conference win of the season, and then you roll that right into Wagner. 37-point victory. It's the largest in 3 years for you guys. Just kind of take me through what went right, and it all happened from the get-go.
Well, we felt like they were going to double Mariah on the high ball screens. A lot of teams do that, and we told our post ready to step up and shoot, and Torrie Childs got us going with 10 early points, mostly on screen and pops and hitting some 15-footers, and then finishing a couple inside shots as well. So she got us going, and really the whole team played well throughout the course of the game. They followed the defensive game plan. Kelly Clark's a very tough low post scorer, and we held her scoreless to just the last few minutes of the game. She scored some points, but we did a good job defensively on her, and she's always a tough matchup. So the team played good D, holding Wagner to under 50 points, but offensively we were very sharp. We took care of the ball, only 11 turnovers, and we had a lot of different people. I think we had 5 people in double figures, so that was nice.
You've got to be most proud, I think, of that defensive effort against Kelly Clark. I guess what was kind of the game plan going in to take her away? Because, I mean, as you said, she really wasn't a factor until the last couple of minutes.
It's very tough to stop one-on-one. We didn't want to get her, let her get the ball on the blocks and just have one defender on her. So we wanted to really try and get as many steals as we could before they could get it into her, and then really try and give a lot of weak side help and double teams. And the team did a good job of reading that and stealing the ball as much as we could. And she didn't get a lot of shots up, and she's tough to stop. So the team followed the game plan there and got as many steals as we could.
You mentioned the matchups with her down low. You already mentioned Torrie Childs. I want to come back to her in a moment, but Erica Livermore does it again this week. We profiled her earlier in the week, but for the 3rd time she picks up Rookie of the Week honors. You've got to feel really good about the development that she's shown. It's kind of come in stages. She's really grown, I think, as a freshman, leaps and bounds.
She definitely has. She's being more consistent. She's really improved her defense. Her defense has been very solid the last month or so. She's a dominant rebounder, and we just had to figure out how to get her the ball and where to get her the ball. Now the team is doing a good job of that, and she's putting shots up. And I think this past week, although she didn't maybe shoot as well as she would have liked, she still finds ways to always get the points. And she even hit an 18-footer, which is really, she's a very good outside shooter for a post. So that's another area of her game that can be developed even more. Probably shoot some threes as time goes on.
Is it good to see as a coach, because I'm sure you guys are always looking as far as the long-term health of the program, and as good as Mariah has been for you guys, this is kind of her swan song season, and
right.
you've got to kind of look forward and say, what do we have going forward, and looking to the future. When I look at somebody like Erica Livermore and Desiree Crawford, you've got to be happy, Mariah Nunes defensively, the way they've developed to push you guys forward.
Yeah, our sophomores have really improved their game, and the freshmen have played a lot, so it's important. But I always feel one of the toughest things to get is a dominant go-to low post scorer, and that's probably something that Erica Livermore can develop into. If she's not there yet, she can certainly get there, and that's always the toughest thing to get. NBA teams, college teams, you try and find that inside player that you throw them the ball, they're going to score, and even when they're double teamed, they're going to score, and it's hard to find that, and we think that she could be that type of player.
Torrie Childs has 10 points in the first 4 minutes of that game. I know you said it was an effort for you guys to go inside and get some early points, but what is it about Torrie that's kind of allowed her to blossom as well? I know she only played 6 minutes the game prior, and she really came out and took it to Wagner.
Well, Torrie does a lot of little things well. She takes charges. She's a good help defender, team defender, and she's one of our better defensive rebounders. And one of the things we like to do with her, she's probably got as good of a 15-foot shot. So anytime we run her and she sets that ball screen, she's a good screener. She kind of doesn't roll as much as she'll pop and hit that little 12-15 footer, and that opens up the paint for our guards, for maybe a Danielle Pankey or a Mariah Laurie to get in that paint, because teams may have to pop out and cover Torrie at that 12-15 foot spot. So we really look for her to take that outside shot and be a little bit more aggressive, and we told her to be a little bit more aggressive going into this game. She didn't play as much, so we felt she'd have fresh legs, and she came out very aggressive.
Torrie is in our spotlight this week as well. Had a couple of minutes to sit down and talk with the junior. Our spotlight player this week is junior transfer Torrie Childs, who comes to the Knights from the University of Texas, El Paso, and I think really had your breakout game against Wagner this past Monday.
Yeah.
Talk to me about those first 4 minutes against the Seahawks.
It went pretty quick. I didn't know I'd score that fast, and it was easy, pretty easy.
Tell me what was different in that game for you. Was it just coming out with a different confidence? Was it just getting the ball from your teammates in good spots?
I think I had a lot more energy because last game I didn't play too much, so I came out and I just wanted to just add something to the team.
What's the year been like for you, just in terms of transition, I guess maybe excitement? Because you have to sit out the year transferring. To get out there and finally play again, it's got to feel great.
Yeah, last year was tough for me because I had to sit out for a year, but this year I was really excited to start playing, so I'm pretty happy.
What's that transfer year like? Is it because, I mean, going into it, I'm sure you know you have to sit out the year, and I'm sure it's probably daunting to look at it, but then to actually have to get into it, and you're on the sidelines, you're only able to practice. Is that tough to wear on you?
It's pretty hard, especially transfer from another school. You got to make friends. You got to, learn new systems, find out new things, try to figure out where you fit in, and it wasn't too hard, but it was tough.
So what's it like when you put that FDU uniform on for the first time? The juices that start running through you.
It was exciting because last year they put my uniform on my chair, but I knew I couldn't put it on. I just had to sit on the bench. But this year I was really excited to play.
Is it fun coming home too? I guess more family and things of that nature, being able to come watch you play.
Yeah, it's really exciting. My high school coach came to the Rider game, and a couple people come down to watch me play. It's much easier for me.
Talk to me about going away to Texas as well. Was it neat just in terms of becoming more of a traveler and getting to go down there and see a new conference? And I know you got to go to Mexico a couple of times.
Yeah, I saw the whole new side of the country. We flew everywhere. I just wanted to get away from New Jersey, and I did, and I had to come back.
Glad to be back.
Yeah.
What did you miss most about New Jersey?
The food. I don't eat tacos or Taco Bell or anything like that, so that's all that was down there.
What's a quintessential New Jersey food for you?
Hoagies, like sandwiches.
Grease trucks?
Yeah, yes.
You get mom's home cooking now too?
Yeah, when I see her. Yeah, I do.
Tell me, what about Fairleigh Dickinson attracted you to when you looked, I guess, your goal was probably to come home.
Yeah.
What stood out about the Knights and Coach Cinella?
Coach stand out to me. I came my visit. He was the first coach to call me when I got released, and he told me he wanted me to come down. He flew me down, and I liked it.
What's your outlook, I guess, a semester into your FDU career now? You've got another year and a half.
Yes.
What are your goals in terms of the mark you want to leave on this program?
Hopefully I stay healthy enough to play, and hopefully we can win as many games as we can as possible and win conference and go to the NCAAs.
You feel confident about this group?
Yes,
the way
I
you
do.
guys have been coming
I
on?
do, yes. We have a lot of energy, and we have a lot of things to prove.
What's kind of changed for you as well? I know the tide's kind of turned over the last couple of weeks, and you guys have really put the pieces together.
Yeah.
Kind of what have you seen in yourselves that's really grown over these last couple of weeks?
I think our fast break got a lot better. Our team chemistry got a lot better. We just matured a lot. We know how to play defense better. We talk a lot more. So.
And they're getting points from the inside with Torrie Childs?
Yes.
Torrie, appreciate the time. Best of luck.
Thanks.
Coach Torrie said in there that when she got her release from UTEP, you guys were the first call that she received. So talk to me a little bit about your end of things with what you liked about Torrie and what made you want to reach out and bring her in.
Well, we recruited Torrie out of high school. I saw her play quite a bit when she was a junior and senior in high school, being a local New Jersey player. And she helped her team, advance to the state championship game, and she did a great job in that game. And we just felt that she could come in and be an effective 6'2" player. She kind of has that inside-outside game. She's a very good low-post defender and defensive rebounder. But then on offense, she catches most of the passes that are thrown to her, and she's a very good outside shooter. So we felt that she could do a lot of different things well. She does a lot of small things well. Does the little things. Will take a key charge. Is very good at setting screens. Runs the plays well. So she does a lot of little things well. And then when she can come out and get 10 points in a half like she did last game, that offense is a real good bonus for our team.
Another big opportunity for you guys coming up this weekend. You go on the road for the second time in conference, St. Francis, New York, on Saturday, and then Monday you go back to Brooklyn for LIU. You've got to, I guess, kind of like the matchups. I know LIU's gotten off to a real hot start on the back end of this weekend, but you've got to like the matchups that you have in these two games.
Well, St. Francis, New York is a very competitive team right now, and they have a lot of young freshmen that are playing well. So that's going to be a good battle test for us. We got to find a way to do better on the road and to get some wins on the road. And this is our first test. And then later in the week, LIU, a very strong team, great record. They had a tremendous out-of-conference wins. They're just probably as talented of a team as we see in our league. So this is going to be a great test, these two games in Brooklyn. We're on the road, not far, not a far trip. Probably takes about a half hour to get there. There's a lot of traffic, though, but once we get there, these are good, good gyms to play in and see what we got on the road.
Focus real quick for me, too, on the front end of it, because that's what we'll see next with St. Francis. Keys in that game for you guys? I know the two Australians are pretty good.
Yeah, they have two very good Australian players. They also have a very good inside low post player, number 34, Vinay, and they got a great shooter from Connecticut, number 14, Vendetti, and they got some good weapons, and we got to find a way to really pressure up. Probably going to throw some presses at them, and then at the same time in the offensive end, we want to try and get our shooters good three-point shots, because we should be open at the three-point line if we work the ball well and try and get the ball inside. But they have a lot of weapons. Number one is a very good slasher driver for them, and that's Robinson, and we got to find a way to take some charges on her.
Knights taking on St. Francis Saturday, LIU Monday. Again, both on the road, but as Coach said, not far. So feel free to join us in New York City as well. Catch a show in between. We'll see you for both these games this weekend, and then back here next time on the Pete Cinella Show.
Thanks, Joel.